Loading. Scanning. Launch.
This is part 3. Yay! You made it this far. Congrats! I like to congratulate you guys as you progress through. Programming can be quite tedious. I'm sure some of you have made a simple spelling error. You accidentally hit a button by now and you're like, oh, well, what's wrong? So, if you've made it this far, I'd like to congratulate you because we are still going. So, now you should have this. You should have just done your color checks, your first color, second color, third color, fourth color, our 4 colors, and your little populating AI. Remember, this populates the AI. So, now we actually want to be able to have like a little something out of this. Something. Like, how are we going to show them that that's the color they need to press? Well, this is how. Set set interval function, and we want to tell it to show order. Now, we're setting an interval, which means every time we go through this interval, we want to go to the function show order. And how often do we want to do that? Well, we want to do that every second. That's nice and easy. Then, well, obviously that one's going to show the order, but we have a problem. There's no way to clear the colors once they change to show the person that they need to click that color. So, we got to set up another interval. Or we could even do a few other tricks, but out of everything I was doing, I liked how this one worked best. Not necessarily looked best, but how it worked was, I really enjoyed it. So, I'm going to set a new interval. Obviously, it's a function. And we're going to go to function recolor. So we recolor each one of the cells after they become black. I'm going to do that right there. So these are the milliseconds that it rolls. 1,000 milliseconds, and you have a second. So 1,050 seconds. So it happens about half a second after we color it. So now these happen at different times, so that's why you see it all jumpy at specific moments. What really works best is in the function show order, you set a clear out function or a delay timeout on recolor. And that way, about after a second or half a second in show order, when you go through, you call recolor, and that'll allow you to set a half a second delay, and that'll guarantee you have the most fluent way of doing it. But once again, I like this way because it's more fun. There's more ways I could actually change this to be more complicated. There's so much I could do that enables, rather than just saying, hey, go through show order. Once you're done with that, at the end of it, going in half a second, change it back. So what I want to do first is get the function show order out of the way. Function show order. And by the way, if you were still wondering, our page looks the same. There's no change in it because we are doing the math behind it. So, if current turn equals computer's turn, we're going to check to see if scount is less than total count. That way, we're not just stepping in this function every second and doing everything inside of it. And in here, we're going to go to the document. We're going to get element by ID. And we want to get the element button. Well, which button do we want to get? Well, that's easy. We're going to go to our order. Well, we got to concatenate this in, otherwise it won't work. So make sure to put that plus there. And we want to go to order scount. We want to say style. And we want to tell it to change the style background color, because that is what determines the color. And we're going to set it equal to black. It's just an easy way to realize, hey, that color changed black. That's obviously the one I should click. Color check. And this one's going to be order scount we're going to say -1, because remember, they start at zeros, but we're not looking for that 0 always. So we're going to check the same place in the same spot, and we're going to set that equal to black. So now we have both of these changing to black, and we're going to set up scount to be going up every time we run through this function. Now, if scount doesn't equal, or if scount isn't less than total count, we want to make sure it goes to the user's turn. So CT equals 1 now, because now it is the user's turn. So now we just got to set up our function recolor. Function recolor. And make sure to put those in and put those in. And we need a few temporary variables. Var temp equals nothing. Var color equals nothing. We're going to go and run through a big circle for x equals 1. X is less than 5 because we want to go between 1 and 4 because we only have 4 colors. X plus plus. Now, while x fits those requirements, we'll run through this every time. Temp will equal color check x minus 1. Now, I like to put these in brackets because sometimes it just argues with the math behind it, and it seems to just agree more like that. Temp equals black. Now, that way we know if that color is black, and we do not have to run to the document to ask it. So, if temp is black, we'll say check x. If x was the first time around, we know that we want to change color to red. And we want that to be text, not a variable, because there is no variable red. If x equals 2, we want to be able to run to the color green, because that is our second color. If x equals 3, we will make it color blue. And obviously we want to do the same thing for yellow. If x equals 4, color equals yellow. Now we could have used the switch statement for this, but I didn't see a real point in doing so. I'll see you in part 4.